Today, I would like to talk about the emerging trends in our culture. These changes vary from the way people hold themselves and dress themselves to the way people interact with each other. To begin, recently in the last 15 years, the quality of popular clothing has seen a steep decline in its quality and its relevancy in day-to-day life. In addition, some of these clothing items can cost as much as the finest tailored jackets and suits that one could buy from places like Higgins and Brown, Prada, and Lanieri. Instead of buying such products from these much higher quality tailors, these individuals passionately purchase the products from companies like Gucci, Lululemon, Roots, and Adidas. This brings me to my next point. Why do people prefer to use these products? It is certainly not for quality reasons. I mean, look at these tracksuits and shoes. They would no doubt cause the tailors of old to roll in their graves. Could it be that it's because of the mainstream culture glorifying this deplorable style of clothing that we see recently? To understand more about clothing and its relevance to culture, we need to look at its history. In the past, the use of clothing was for warmth and protection from injury. Human body is a fragile and sensitive thing after all, and you can die from little to nothing in the wild. That's why we used clothing and use armor in warfare. Make sure the human body can endure more. But when we are not going to war or need protection from specific threats, we use other kinds of clothing. This sort of clothing has a role that is more on the symbolistic side of utility. They symbolize things such as status, decoration, and uniformity. That is why you will see businessmen wearing nice dress jackets and beautiful items of clothing to make themselves seen as people who are to be respected. And, for example, there is the clothing that was worn by women in the 1940s that put an emphasis on their body and kept them properly warm, which serves both purposes of functionality and appearance, which also, in turn, help with decoration and authority. Now that we know more about the history of clothing, we can address the elements that are present in modern clothing that we discussed earlier. Clothing, such as tracksuits and hoodies, do serve a purpose, but the way it is worn on average is not for warmth, but for uniformity. On average, when asked about why they buy the products from companies such as Gucci, Lululemon, they say it's because they want it because of personal interest. Let's disassemble one of these products in question in regards to their elements as clothing. 1. A tracksuit gives a person a certain amount of warmth, which is useful if they were being used exclusively for that purpose. But, unfortunately, people wear them as uniforms more than anything else. They prefer to be part of a group which does respect uniformity, but here's where that kind of clothing is lacking. A tracksuit does not really help someone display authority like a dress jacket would, which means these people will be seen as a less presentable person. In addition, the tracksuit is used as an exercise apparel, which leads to people not being able to respect individuals in the environment they are normally used in, which is not inside of exercise uses, which makes it all the more despisable. Why does clothing not serve as a symbol of authority anymore in comparison to the past when it comes to popular brands? If you want to talk about it inside of the comments. I would love to see your comments on it, and I will discuss with you if I can. Thank you. And don't forget to subscribe and like. Goodbye.